Hello guys, and now it is official. We use our own Ukrainian homemade missiles to demilitarize targets inside Russia. In Bryansk region, with the Ukrainian Neptune missile, we destroyed electrodetal plant that supplied important electronic parts for the Russian military. And the destroyed thermal power plant in Belgorod that caused darkness in the city was also targeted with Ukrainian Neptunes. This is an extremely important change in the course of this war. Many of you remember how for years we asked our allies to let us defend ourselves to the fullest, and the Kremlin kept threatening your governments with consequences. That's why we were banned. But with our own homemade missiles, we can choose the pace we like and destroy military targets that are important for the defeat of Russia. So finally, in Bryansk and Belgorod, this is confirmed, and the Kremlin does not know how to act because their threats do not work with Ukrainians. Another important updates come from Crimea, where the fuel crisis is perhaps the worst ever. Dozens of the Russian regions are affected, but now in Crimea they started limiting an amount of gasoline that you can buy to just 30 liters. Plus, it's either for your car or for a tank, and nothing else. And to make the whole situation even more pathetic for the Kremlin, we destroyed their Mi-8 combat helicopter today with an FPV drone. You can compare prices. Many $1 million helicopter and a couple $100 FPV. So let's talk about these failures of the Russian Federation that will continue. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see the defeat of the Kremlin regime and Putin in The Hague, subscribe. We will discuss that on the channel sometime really soon. And let's begin with Ukrainian Neptune missiles that first destroyed Moscow warship at the very beginning of this war and then was seriously upgraded to be used for other kinds of targets. And yesterday I reported about the destruction of the thermal power plant in Belgorod, an experience that many Russians now share with Ukrainians after Russian destructions of our electric system previously. And today, electrodetal plant in Bryansk region was destroyed by Neptunes, not by drones, but Ukrainian missiles. Their trajectory is approximately 240 kilometers. I don't know how do you qualify this kind of range, but the effectiveness of missiles targeting military facilities is definitely different from even flocks of drones. So Russians do not know how to react because for years they were using classical Soviet-style threats, and they worked with our allies, they worked with NATO, but they don't work with Ukrainians because, come on, we're standing for our motherland, we protect our homes, our hospitals, our schools, and we literally have nothing to lose. So when people started doubting, when people reacted to those threats, which is always a mistake, fear is the worst strategy when dealing with bully, we kept developing our missiles, and now we use them with no need to ask for someone's permission. Of course, we need Taurus, we need Tomahawk, we need everything because Russia is fighting against us together with China, with Iran, with North Korea, and that is a lot. But we are not relaxing. Like in times when it seems like the whole world is against Ukraine, we concentrate and we improve our missiles, develop new cruise missiles like Flamingo, or also invest in drone technologies. And here again, I have to return to the fact that the 21st century war is the war of robots, AI, and of course, different kinds of drones. And subscribe to know more and to protect yourself better against the Russian lies. And please share these videos to spread the truth and to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine. This matters a lot to me personally and to all of us here in Kyiv, in Ukraine. Greetings from Kyiv. And also coming back to drones, it's just beautiful. A Ukrainian FPV drone, one cheap drone, some of you advise to say inexpensive, okay, inexpensive drone, destroyed Mi-8 combat helicopter, which costs a lot. And you know, Russia keeps losing them because of the effective work of the Ukrainian units. But this is just insane because it's a many $million machine against an FPV drone that previously were used by, like, I don't know, gamers or some photographers. That's what you do when you stand for your motherland. And our strategies with limited resources, with lots of chaos and hesitation among our friends, are effective because they are creative, they are innovative, and believe me, you can defeat a country 20 times larger than you if you're smart, and once again, if it's an existential fight. So Russia is big, but Russia is super vulnerable. They did not prepare to defend themselves and actually invited war to dozens of their regions, including Moscow and St. Petersburg, once sacred for Russia and now a war zone, no-fly zone, zone with the destruction of oil refineries, military arsenals, and we obviously see that their economy is collapsing, their budget is empty, and their resources that traditionally backed up Russia is oil, gasoline, and dozens of oil refineries destroyed just during August and September. I'm not mentioning the previous year. And together with that, we target pipelines, pumping stations, and export ports, oil export ports. But this gasoline crisis that keeps growing in dozens of regions reached its peak in Crimea, the temporarily occupied Ukrainian territory that will soon be liberated, and they imposed new limitations that a person can buy only 30 liters of petrol. That's not a lot, that's not enough. So only 30 liters. And just like not like both, you can either fuel your car or you can get that 30 liters in a tank, if that's the right word that I'm using, and nothing else. So you have to stand many kilometer long queue for hours, maybe even use a map of gas stations that have gasoline, just insane. And then you will be allowed to buy just 30 liters. So not only they have now fixed prices in Russia as it was in the USSR before its collapse, they now limit an amount of fuel that you can buy. Please understand, Russia is a paper tiger. Russia is a used paper tiger. Russia is a used toilet paper tiger. I'm sorry, it's not very pleasant, but that's the reality of the collapsing Russian Federation. And there are so many things that prove it is already collapsing. The process is inevitable. For example, that queues, long queues to get some basic things like gasoline, now in the Russian Federation look exactly the same they did in the USSR. And on my new channel, Anna Danilchuk, I have a very interesting video, the video that I loved recording, where I actually compare queues that they have now to get that 30 liters of gasoline with my very early Soviet childhood memories. If you haven't watched yet, subscribe to that channel and watch the video that I connect here. Same as follow me on Instagram, X, Blue Sky, Discord, Threads, all the links in the description of this video. Same as the links to our merch shop with lots of good items that work well as reminders and conversation starters about Ukraine and magically turn you into our ambassadors. You can also choose some hoodies. It's getting colder here and you know that I have specific sentiments to hoodies. Do you know which? Let me know in the comments below. And also, as I'm staying in Kyiv, let me know what are the things you would like to see in the city. Maybe one beautiful day I will take you out. I'm not very comfortable at filming outside, but for you, I can do anything. Love you. Thank you so much for standing with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!
Si te gustó el vídeo, por favor dale me gusta y me encantaría que te suscribieras al canal. gracias.